Good afternoon, students. This is the third part of the chapter People as Resource, class 9, subject Social Science. In this part, we will begin from the heading Quality of Population given on page number 20. Students, in the earlier part of this chapter, we already made the point that the high population of our country, which has been considered as the burden or liability, can be converted into our assets by imparting education, training, and medical care. To move in the direction, let us find that if we successfully achieve these things among all the people of the country, how the population's quality gets improved, and for that, two important factors what can help us, that is, one, investment in the field of education, and second, investment in the field of health. So we can say that the quality of the population has three factors. One, it is the education that can be provided. Second, health is measured in terms of life expectancy. Student, this is a new word. Life expectancy is the average life of a person since the birth, that is assumed as one of the indicator that if people are living longer in a particular country due to the availability of the better medical facilities, you can say that health status in the country has definitely improved. And third, as we said, that we can be making it in your book, it has been mentioned that skill formation. Another factor, skill formation. A highly skilled person is likely to have better growth for himself, and if an individual make a better growth, and if all the people together make a good growth for themselves, sorry, they are likely to make good growth for the country also. It means that the GDP and GNP of the country are likely to become more and more. Let us begin with the story of the suckle in the field in the education section. You have seen the example of suckle, that investment of education has made him to achieve success. It was in the early part of his life, whatever education he could achieve made successful life, that he got a good job in a private firm where he got promotion and everything else what it is expected from an educated person. So you can say that investment in education provide good job and salary to all the people, and it is that input which opens new horizons. Your textbook has written it opens new horizons and avenues and develop values for life. That is what the importance of education is. It is also to contribute in the society. It is not only that individual makes a growth, rather entire society makes a good growth, because I already explained that the earning of the nation is the total earning of the people of the country. If every individual will find a good growth in their earning, country's earning is likely to be better. It will generate better resources for the country, because higher earning people are likely to pay higher tax. Government will also have resources, and then government will be able to do lot of productive work because of these available resources. Now student, considering that education is very important because it increases our national income, it increases the cultural richness and efficiency in the governance. As I said, that if we are likely to earn more, we are likely to contribute higher to the government by paying taxes. More taxes means more revenue to be generated on the part of the government to do the welfare for the country, and generating more and more, and establishing better infrastructure and generating more and more resources for all of us. If it is so, if education is so important, our government has done something for which valid data are being provided in your textbook. Let us go one by one what government has done to ensure that education has to be given importance. It is mentioned in your textbook that universal access to education has to be achieved. It means every single person, be it rich or poor, should have access to education. There has to be no retention. No children should be in a state to take back themselves from the process of attaining education. And elementary education, especially for the girls, has to be given emphasis. Means elementary education is that vital factor that can help our larger number of people, larger number of children to attain education and uh, let country to achieve the kind of development every country want to achieve. Next, for this what government has done? First point, government has done establishment of Navodaya Vidyalaya in each district. It is mentioned that this Navodaya Vidyalaya has taken not only education for the purpose of improving knowledge, rather vocational courses are also being added. And you must understand what is vocational courses. Developing the student for future, developing the skill among the student for future job opportunity, that if they are provided a specific kind of work, that work can be chosen in future to do something for their source of livelihood. You will also find that government has decided to make certain expenditure out of their GDP every year, and over these year it has continuously increased. In 1951, while our total plan outlay was 151 crore, in the first plan it was 151 crore, and now student in the 11th plan it has increased to 3766.90 crore. That's an interesting fact, that our government does understand the importance of education, and that's why it is making expenditure, more and more expenditures are done to ensure that all quality education are going to be provided to everyone. One more thing is written, that over the years our percentage share of education in GDP has increased. Percentage share of education means the expenditure what we have done in terms of money, its percentage if it is to be calculated in GDP, that has increased 0.64%, that was in 1951-52 when India was made republic, to the 2015-16 it has increased to 3%, which is remarkable that in education government is taking this area of improvement seriously and spending more and more. However, it is also mentioned in your book that in the year 2017-18 it has declined to 2.7%, which is not good, but that could be exceptional. Maybe for one reason or the other government has decided, or government had other expenditure which became the reason that government could not spend as much. But it doesn't mean it has decreased in terms of percentage, doesn't mean government have not increased the amount in terms of money. You can say that size of GDP when it increases, maybe possibility is that the percentage gets down, because government may not have, in terms of the increase of size, have increased expenditure in education. Student, it is also written in your book that literacy rate has also increased as a result, from 18% which was in 1951 to 74% which is in year 2010-11. To give the valuable data, your book on the page number 21 has made a graph. Let us see that graph and find out some of the conclusion from this. Student, there is a literacy rate in India graph where 3-bar diagram in each decade has been shown. Blue color line is showing you blue color bar diagram is showing you the person in terms of percentage, what percentage was there for the literate, and then it is being divided on the line of gender. Maroon color is showing for male and green color is showing for female. And what we can draw the conclusion, that over these years our literacy rate has continuously made a good growth. This graph has been going upwards. Similarly, the other two graphs are also going upwards. It means the literacy rate has been rising. However, what is more important for you to know, that literacy rate among males has been higher since the beginning, and still in 2011 you can find that the literacy rate of the male is much higher than the females. You can say that higher literacy rate help us to perform our duties in a better manner, and we can enjoy our rights also. Your book has mentioned that in terms of data, that the male literacy rate is higher by 16.16% than female literacy rate. It has also mentioned that the last recorded data, Kerala is the state with 94% of the literacy, while Bihar is the least with the 62% of literacy. These are the data, you go yourself. I'm just reading to get you aware about these factors. Over these years, government has established so many primary school system. Your book is telling you that presently there are 8.58 lakh school. Presently means, according to the book, it is 2013-14 data has been given. Now, as per 2013-14 data, 8.58 lakh primary schools are being set up. However, there are certain drawbacks also. Such huge amount of primary school, the efforts made by the government has been diluted with the poor quality of schooling. One thing, government could not assure that the quality of schooling remain good. And one more factor is mentioned, that there is high dropout rates also. It has been noticed that many children who are brought in the village area to the schooling system by one means or the other means, maybe because of the pressure from the family, maybe because of their disliking for the education, they take back themselves from the school, which is not a good sign for a country if we are wanting it to make an assets, if we are wanting to have our higher population turning into an assets. Moving to our next point, that your book has mentioned that elementary education, for that it is important for elementary education to be more and more successfully achieved to larger population. Government has initiated Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, which is meant for universalization of elementary education. This program has been initiated by the central government along with the help taken from the state government, local government and community government, as mentioned so far. Your book is also wanting to make the point clear that this Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is for the children of age group of 6 to 14 year, which is meant for providing the bridge course. Also it is mentioned that they are wanting to increase the enrollment ratio of those children who have taken themselves back from the schooling system. Means we are eager, our government is making effort that those who are unwilling to remain the part of the schooling system should be brought somehow to the schooling system under this universal elementary education system. This Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan system, government has made initiative. Now one more thing has been done to ensure to provide an attraction for children to come, that is midday meal scheme. Only purpose is that for the sake of attaining a good food, the student should be encouraged to come, because if they will come to school just for the sake of midday meal, by one way or the other way they will be provided education, and that is the one of the purpose. Another purpose could be that poor family may be sending their children for the sake that at least one time of the food their children will easily get from the government side. The student, there is another factor for the higher education perspective. Your book has also given the 12th plan. Government has tried to have higher enrollment ratio in higher education. That is, higher education, it is for the age group of 18 to 23 year of age, and you will be surprised that target government has set up for the year 2020 to 21 is 30%. Government is wanting that higher education should be increased so that skill for the better job and better earning prospect can be increased among the student. Government has made strategy which focus on increasing access to quality adoption on the state specific curriculum. Government has made that there has to be some curriculum from the state side, and there is more and more use of information technology. Government should make effort that students in the modern time in the higher education system should have their access with high level of information technology, so that they can make access to the world class education at their fingertips. Student, another efforts has been made by the government that over the last 50 years, let us first make the analysis what government has done in the field of education. There has been no doubt a good growth of education system, be it for the elementary level or be it for the higher level. To prove their point, over the last 50 years, number of universities, another table has been shown, that is table 2.1 on page number 22. which is addressing the issue. Let me find out what the table is telling you. Table is giving you a data about how many number of colleges, universities, number of students and teacher has increased in college and university. A student, this table is giving us data that over the year there is a positive growth from 1950 to 51, when there was 750 college, it has increased to 42,338 colleges. Number of universities from 30 to increase now 795 universities. A student in 1950-51 was 2,63,000. Now it has increased to 29 crore 42 lakhs. 2 crore 94 lakh 27,158. And similarly, the number of teachers has increased from 24,000 to 14 lakh 70,119. These data are good enough to show that our government has remained concerned about attaining good level of education, and efforts are being done. It has been made it is making a clear indication that how important an education could be for imparting improving the population's quality, how it can help us to have a population which do not remain burden. In the next topic, in the next section, student, we will discuss the health issue. That is the second aspect to have better quality of population. Thank you.